Welcome to the Good Rookie Show. My name is Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all. And we are Good Rookie.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's the Good Rookie Show. Yep. What's going on, y'all? We're your hosts coming to you from Toronto, Canada, the 6th. And we bring you the hottest topics in sports and culture. Okay. So, Faheem, as you know, this is Women's History Month, the month of March. And so, we celebrate Women's History every month on the podcast, but I definitely want to take some time to highlight a player that I think a lot of folks have forgotten. So, Faheem, can you guess which player did this? I think you probably get it off the rip, but who scored 101 points in 16 seconds in high school?
Wow.
Oh.
Which woman basketball player in high school, when she was in high school, she scored 101 points in 16 seconds?
No, not 16 seconds or 16
Sorry,
minutes?
16, sorry, my bad. 16 minutes. 16
okay,
minutes.
I was going to say.
Okay. Shoot. No, 16 minutes in 1990.
Well, yeah, that's got to be Cheryl Miller. Got to be.
Lisa Leslie.
No?
No, Cheryl Miller is older than that. Lisa Leslie.
Okay. Lisa Leslie scored 101 points in 16 minutes.
This is at Morningside High School. And she was playing South Torrance. It was epic. And she talks about, like, you know, she was locked in. She was in a zone. Clearly you're in a zone, girl. If you score 101 points in six, I can't even fathom 101 points. That's 50. And back then there weren't, I mean, was she shooting threes in that game? I got to look at the stats, but that is.
I doubt it. She probably shot like 80% from the field in that 16 minutes to get that.
Probably
100 points
90% from
in
the
16
field.
minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's so
shout out to Lisa Leslie.
The breakdown was she had 49 in the first quarter and then 52 in the second. Yeah.
But you said in 16 minutes though.
16 minutes. Yeah. High school, 8-minute quarters.
Wow. Crazy. I can't. At least, shout out to her teammates. They knew what to do. They understood the assignment. Get her the ball.
Yeah. And that's why people have her in their top 5 of all time, because to your point, like that's a feat that a lot of people will never even fathom. So big up to Lisa Leslie.
Wow.
That's some women's history for you.
That's crazy. So we once, in a past episode, we spoke about the Wemby effect and the difference that having Wembanyama made toward the league. There's a new effect that I think we should be talking about this week, and that would be the Coach Prime effect. As we know, Coach Prime really put Colorado football on the map, and what he's done for Colorado right now, the university itself, they have a record of 68,000 students that have applied to Colorado after Coach Prime's first season. 68,000 have applied. That's a new state record for them. Just because of, it goes to show the impact of Coach Prime and also football and the culture of football. But wow, that's the fact that so much people want to go to Colorado. It's pretty impressive. What's your thoughts on that, Nelly J?
That is amazing. Like, absolutely amazing for him to have that kind of impact, especially, are we surprised? Like, Deion is a movement. He's like someone where wherever you go, he just brings his fans with him. It's kind of like a cult following, like he's like a star. He's a superstar of football, college football, but even now, past as a player, he's a superstar as a coach. And there's rarely any players who are superstars in their careers and then become a superstar as well in their coaching career. He just brings so much energy, his quotes, his vibe. He's so encouraging, very motivational. When you speak to him, you just feel like light. You feel happy. He has a huge impact, not only as a mentor, but even how his players act in the media. We never see no player that he's coaching saying something crazy for him in the media. Like they're so
Mhm.
well mannered. They are respectful to other teams, to the competitors. Like I just think he's someone that helps these athletes become men and how to carry themselves, how to treat their partners, how to treat women, how to treat family and friends. Like he is someone that definitely he's an effect, but he's more than effect. I feel like Wemby effect is like he came here, he's talent, and that's an effect for sure, right? But I feel like Deion is like his effect that covers all facets, like mental, visual, motivational, spiritual. Like he just is someone that I think is so moving, right? And his career is very like even with his like he's in pain half the time for him. Like talk about his foot surgeries and the stuff that he's been going through medically wise. He talks about how there's times where he wakes up and is in the hospital before a game. Like when he talks about determination, not giving up, fighting, he's someone that I'm like, yo, like this guy really is the real deal. So yeah, like I'm not surprised. Like someone like that, Fahim, people want to be around that. And I know someone that I worked with, like he was going to every game in Denver with his family, like every game. And it just shows that, like, and he was saying that the impact of Deion, not even a season, full season yet, was just impeccable. So I'm very happy for Deion. I'm very happy for his students and his teammates and athletes. And, Colorado is a step, but I feel like he's not done yet. I feel like he might go back either to a bigger school or back to HBCU as well. Like, I feel like Deion in his career, he wants to make movements and plans, but um, he's someone that's so motivational. I think even the HBCU space, he created so much, like he did such a great job there as well. I know he coached high school. So this is just I mean, I can't believe for him, they increased not even like the people applying to be in the team, but actual folks wanting to apply to the school went up because of Deion Fahim. That's not even football. That is like, yo, I just want to be where this guy is. And that is remarkable. That's remarkable.
Mhm.
So big up to Deion Sanders, man, and Prime Effect and his family. And let's see how it looks next year with all of these new students coming in. I would love to see like a before and after Deion effect, you know?
Mhm. So you mentioned it when you're saying about in families and like families going to watch the team. Football culture in the States is big. I'm just wondering, you know, how many of the like how many of them are students, and then how many of them are maybe um, families who maybe aren't students, but the Colorado team represents that area, right? So I can just imagine as much as like that's almost 70,000 new students applied, but only so many people can actually get in and watch a game. Makes me think of, for instance, University of Michigan Wolverines. They play in Ann Arbor. That's a college town. But you have a lot of people who don't go to university, have no affiliation with the university, but the university team represents that area, right? So, I mean, just think that outside of football, the effect that Deion's having on students going there, enrollment, university is a business and they make money, right? So, just the fact that they're having so much more people enrolling, football aside, just for what it's doing for the community, I'd be interested to get a number to see what that effect actually works out to be to a dollar value to not just Colorado University, the University of Colorado Buffaloes, but to Boulder, Colorado, where they're at. You know what I mean? Like I think it's so much bigger than just uh, than just the football team. But
I
yeah,
agree.
when I saw
I
that
think
68,000, that's huge.
Yeah, I think someone had a number. I think it was on boardroom. Um,
Mm.
in terms of like like ticket sales for those games for him went up so much, right? Like that was an actual thing. And I remember they're saying that I'm looking now in the fall of 2024, 50.5% increase in Black applicants, both of which partly due to prime effect of hiring Deion Sanders. And so
Hmm.
this is something that USA Today reported on. And in terms of revenue brought to Colorado, it says that the home games generated 113.2 million, a study stated.
Wow. There we go. Bingo. Good. Good. That's huge. That's huge.
So I assume the demographic would be more Black students applying, but generating 113.2 million to Colorado during those home games for the economy, the impact of Deion, yeah. I'm sure many schools are now trying to get Deion to come to their city, okay?
Hmm.
Because
Right.
but
Right.
but yeah, that's the effect monetary wise. So
Yeah.
and I'm looking now at in terms of even the fourth reported that they brought at the time in September 17 million to Boulder, right? And that was in September. So at the end of
Mm.
December, it was reported by a couple of resources like Nine News and USA Today that he brought in. Sorry, not USA Today, but Nine News and a few other sites. They mentioned 113.2 million that he brought in at the end of the season. So
Wow.
his impact, to your
Wow.
point, Fahim, is very real. They said even scholarship revenue
Mm.
for athletics went up by 42%, apparently. And that was according to David Rumsey. So athletic scholarships went up. Economic revenue and impact was big. Let's say minimal 17 million at the minimal amount, right? Um,
Hmm.
and then now tuition, like people applying, right? So yeah, to your point, like I said, like he's magnetism. Like he's a magnetic person. So big up to Deion, man.
And we talk about players and maybe their transition outside of their sport that they were in. Very few, I think, are doing it on his level where they've exceeded as a player. Like you mentioned this right at the top, but I want to kind of drive this point home. As a player, he excelled, and now in college coaching, he's excelling. I got to ask on the way out, um, do you think, what do you think is more likely? Him to get maybe an NFL job? Do you think that might be in the works? Or do you think maybe him going to maybe a bigger program? Because you mentioned about possibly going back to an HBCU. I kind of see, I don't know if I think his next move is going to be maybe bigger than I think he kind of started where he started at Jackson State. That might be just an entry. I don't know if he went back to being at a HBCU. What do you think his next move would be?
Yeah, like I said it earlier, either or, right? I don't know which one, but
Mm.
I just think that with Deion, um, he's gonna make all this money at Colorado. After that, the money's been
Hmm.
made. I feel like he'll want to go back to working at a program where he can be most impactful for his people, for the Black community. I
Right.
do think though that Dion will not get a job at a bigger program unless he wins at Colorado. So if he does not win or make it to a playoff or anything like that, he will not get promoted to a bigger program. Those college programs in the States are a different beast. Ohio, those big schools, no. Like you gotta show that you can
Yeah, they
win
want
before you
winners,
get up
right?
there. Yeah. And so that's why I feel like if he can
Yeah,
somehow win there, then yes. But if he doesn't, if he just sticks to be like a 5-6 win team, then after a while that gets boring. You go back to HBCU. That's what I'm thinking if I'm Dion. But hey, we'll see
right.
what he does.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, Nelly J. Let's go to for the culture.
For the culture, we get to highlight individuals for the culture. And today, we get to highlight the one and only Cynt Marshall. So, Cynt Marshall right? We want to highlight her, especially we're talking about history, Women's History Month, okay? Cynt Marshall in 2018 became the first Black female CEO, okay, for the NBA.
Woo!
She was hired for him. Do you remember that scandal of like the Dallas Mavericks? How there was a whole bunch of mess. Like there was years of like um sexual harassment claims for 20
Right.
years,
Yep.
right? And
Yep. Yep.
misconduct.
Yep.
And so
Mhm.
Mark Cuban hired Marshall following those allegations to clean house, to literally create a better work environment and space. And now her background for him is no joke. Okay. She actually was not only was that, okay, so before she became the CEO powerhouse boss, right? Before that, she actually went to Berkeley while studying or doing her BA and management degree. She was the first Black cheerleader at Berkeley, Fahim. This is like back in the day, right? So she was the first Black
What?
cheerleader at Berkeley, and apparently there were fans there that gave her a lot of negative comments on the football field when she was a cheerleader. Fast forward, she graduated Berkeley when she was 21. This woman, then becomes a supervisor at AT&T, was working at different roles for 36 years, right, as executive, and she was mostly focusing on improving diversity and workplace behavior, right? Retired in 2017 and founded her own consulting firm, okay? Now, at AT&T, though, Fahim, she was the first African American head of the North Carolina Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so she literally has been breaking barriers in like focusing on inclusion, um, diversity all her life, a true advocate. And then, of course, she gets hired at Dallas Mavericks. Great hire, Mark Cuban. More than knows what she's doing. And they also even I saw that Worth named her as one of the most powerful women in business sports in as well. So Cynt Marshall Fahim is a boss, a trailblazer. She's someone that I don't think people even really they're aware of it, but I don't think people even know. Everyone knows Masai and different things, but Cynt Marshall is like a trailblazer in everything. And so I want to give some time to give her a shout out. She also had a book come out, I believe, a couple years ago, and it was called "You've Been Chosen: Thriving Through the Unexpected." It was published back in 2022. Fahim, I have to get that book. I didn't even know she had one. So, y'all, I'm going to get the book myself. So, let's get her book, support it. But yeah, Fahim, I can just tell like her journey, what she's been through. I can imagine the story she has, Fahim, from being the first Black cheerleader at her university at Berkeley, right? Which is a big school. Then being the first African American to be the head of North Carolina Chambers of Commerce, and now the first Black woman to be CEO of an NBA team. Okay. Cynt Marshall, you're for the culture. You got it, Fahim.
Hmm. I can't get over the fact that her story is cheerleader to where she's at now. Like, wow. Uh, it's big. It's big. That that she was a cheerleader because you can get cheerleading scholarships in the States, right? I was told, I'm pretty sure. Let me just fact check
Well,
that.
it depends on the school.
But I didn't know.
It depends on the school.
Uh-huh.
But I'm sure because
Do you
cheerleaders
think
do
that
have
she,
competitions. But I'm not sure. Remember, this is back in the
uh-huh,
eight. This is back in like the 80s or 70s, 80s. So I'm not sure back then
uh-huh.
if that was a thing.
What you mentioned about the opportunity, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I mean, if that didn't happen in Dallas, perhaps she wouldn't get the opportunity to come in and show what she can do. So that's big. I just pulled up UCLA, which is maybe a bigger program than Berkeley, but yeah, UCLA has multiple scholarships, grants, and loan opportunities through financial aid for scholarship for cheerleading. So cheerleading is a serious thing. So it's just interesting how y- I'm not say this. Cheerleading isn't the most. Uh, I say this. Cheerleading isn't the most uh, in regards to sports.
Well, you could say
It's
that. I mean,
not really.
cheerleaders are like
Go ahead.
gymnastics, right? Because my sister's was a cheerleader. Depending on the type of
Oh,
cheerleading,
yeah,
why?
expand. Okay,
Because I remember
right.
like at Western, our cheerleading team could do backflips, like tumbles, and doing all the twirls in the air. That's a skill. I can't do that. None of that, right? So
Yeah,
they're like gymnastics
yeah, right.
that are dancers. Like they're like part gymnastic, part dancing, especially in the college level. Like it's like you work out, you do training. It's like any sport team. Like you have practices, like and you compete. There's lots of cheerleading competitions around the country and nationwide, right? But again, people have a stereotype that cheerleaders, you know, aren't really in terms of academia. But there's many cheerleaders that do cheerleading in college and become
Yeah,
doctors and
yeah,
lawyers. Like it's just a
right.
weird, it's a weird TV stereotype. It's not true, right? Just a weird TV
Yes,
stereotype. That's all
thank
it
you.
is.
That's why I wasn't sure how to say it without sounding rude or ignorant. But yeah, you're right. Maybe whenever you think of cheerleading, you're right. It is a stereotype through maybe through movies, and that's how things get perpetrated. Kind of the uh, yeah, not so just just the fact that she started from something that usually is not seen as academic or skillful to where she's at now. Wow, that's quite a story. It's pretty inspirational.
Cynt Marshall, congrats. Thank you for doing what you've been doing. Keep pushing barriers and promoting diversity and inclusion. I think Dallas Mavericks front office is very diverse. It's because there's a wonderful, smart woman heading that. And it shows that it's possible to have a diverse front office. So that of
Mhm.
qualified people of all different kinds of backgrounds, not just one. So I hope that this influences other sporting teams around the world, especially in North America, to hire, and not because they're diverse, but hire those who are qualified, not because of what you know what I mean. Like hire because this person can do it. Like how many people would have given her that opportunity, right? She came from AT&T to now managing this team. A lot of people wouldn't get that. So it just shows that. And remember, she's an athlete. She cheerleading is an athletic thing. So just big up to her. Just love this story. And I have to get her book because reading about just her background, I'm like, wow, like she's been through a lot with her family and how she got to where she is at a very young age.
Mhm.
Very, very inspirational. So for the culture.
This CEOs, I'm talking in all sports. How many of them are black women?
I don't know.
It's rare, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare. So kind of I'm seeing it as like, a rarity like Masai Ujiri is black president of a team, right? So rare. So yeah, so I think it's good that you brought this up because we need to highlight these things because if it's happening and I would have no idea and a lot of people wouldn't either, So, yep. All right. So until DJ, let's go to our last segment, which is That's Absurd.
That's absurd. Faheem, bro, what was absurd this week? What was absurd?
The late great Kobe Bryant has a statue outside of crypto.com arena. And on the statue, there's one of three apparently that's coming out. The first statue has been revealed and it has on it etched some box scores and things commemorating that which tie to the statue that's there. On the statue, it has three spelling mistakes etched, engraved on the panel of the statue. Absurd.
Absurd. Oh my gosh. When I read this past week, I could not believe Fahim. So like what? There's no auditing? Like you don't like there's no one that's double checking people's work. We just kind of create the statue.
Yeah.
There's no one double checking before I do it engraving. I'm not double checking like to make sure. I'm just like doing it like blind. I don't know, Fahim.
Yeah.
This has to be. Is it a prank? What's going on here? It's absurd.
Three ones. Okay, so The first coach's decision, it has this twice, but the second time it's spelt in Spanish. So decision, the word decision is wrong. So they're off by, that's one. Two, when they showed the box score, uh, his name was Vom. So there's a letterman. And on part of Kobe's legacy is the 81 point game against the Raptors. They have the box score up for that game, and it has Jose Calderon on there. And it says instead of Jose Calderon, it says Hoserson. Me, I'm thinking like if they put a box score of that game against the Raptors was such a iconic game. People know Jose Calderon, you know. So, anyways, this Pong Jose Calderson. Absurd.
Absurd. And apparently, Faheem, there's NPR put an article out about other statues with misspelling. So, University of Southern California unveiled a 20-foot bronze statue of Queen Troy, the verses from Hamlet, and they misspell Shakespeare's name wrong. It also happened with the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Apparently, contains more than 58,000 were found to be misspelled. The members of service, 58,000 people were misspelled on that memorial. 58,000. They found misspelling errors. And then the MLK Junior Memorial that was unveiled in 2011, there was controversy because the quoted inscribed on the statue, some of the quotes were taken out of context in a way that altered its meaning. So again, like these blunders, and apparently the quote was actually removed entirely in 2013. So essentially, this is something where these blunders are common. That's why you would think, Faheem, they will double, triple check stuff before you engrave. How about maybe a second set of eyes, double check, you know, before you actually engrave it. So yeah, absurd. Absurd.
Right. Well, they have more statues to come. Apparently 2 more is coming. So hopefully they can't make the same mistake again. So
hopefully
we hope.
We hope.
All right, Nelly J, on that note, let's put this episode in the books.
All right, y'all. That was the Good Rookie Show. So guys, so I mean, my shout outs will be very quick. You know, we highlighted these trailblazers today. Lisa Leslie, as we know, are conquering the real estate as well in her post career, but she also, I mean, a huge basketball icon, as well, of course, as Cynt Marshall, someone who I think has a remarkable story and we can all learn from. So definitely want to make sure we shout them out again. But I do want to make sure that we send some prayers and serious condolences to the Barrett family, RJ Barrett, Rowan Barrett, for everyone who knows in basketball space. Their brother, RJ's brother, Nathan, lost his life. It was announced on March 14th. So just want to make sure that we send some prayers out to that family. Sincerest condolences, and we're very, very sorry for your loss. Back to you, Faheem.
Yes, condolences to the Barrett family. I know it's very hard, especially for RJ, having to go out and perform night-to-night basis in front of many people after having something like this happen. So hopefully he just takes the time he needs, no pressure, and just hope that you know, everyone can heal from this, because it's pretty tragic. So I'll end there with that.
Absolutely. All right.
All right. All right, Nelly J, let's put this episode in the books.
All right, y'all. That was the Good Rookie Show. If you had a good time and enjoyed yourself, please like and subscribe. And tell a friend. Faheem.
We're on all platforms. If you're looking for us, you know where to find us. And that's the Good Rookie Show. And we out. Peace.